Okay, so now we'll be discussing about Nocardia and Actomyces together. Both of these come under the group Actinomycetes, and these Actinomycetes are basically nothing but gram-positive true bacteria which resemble fungi. Why? Because upon gram staining they appear as long branching filaments. Right. So this is the initial thing which I like to discuss. So over here in gram staining we do brown Ben modification, and this is how the gram-positive long filamentous bacteria appears. Also in Gomori stain, Gomori is the histopathological examination ka stain. In that we can see typical sun ray appearance. In here what we can see is there are granules which are composed of eosinic clumps, and they are surrounded by basophilic filaments and inflammatory cells such as neutrophils and foamy macrophages. So these are basically my eosinophilic clumps, and these are the basophilic surrounding filaments. Now, first of all, let's just see it in brief. Basically, both the Nocardia and Actomyces, both of them required a growth period of 4 to 10 days within culture. And we'll just briefly see what can Actinomyces do and what can Nocardia do. Actinomyces is basically a commensal within the human body which can cause cervicofacial lumpy jaw very commonly, and nocardiosis moreover causes pneumonia or lymphocutaneous manifestations. Now seeing it, Actinomyces, the pathogenic Actinomyces which we study commonly is Actinomyces israeli. This is basically an anaerobe. It is not acid fast. That means if we do Zn staining, it will not undergo Zn staining. It is a normal oral, reproductive and GI microbiota. Now, how does Actinomyces cause infection within the human body? It basically causes endogenous infection, meaning that these Actinomyces are already present in a normal flora. If there is any aberration which basically predisposes the inside of the body to these Actinomyces, infection will take place. So basically what it can, the typical case which a patient will present with is oral or facial abscesses which basically drain into the sinus tract and has discharge which is granulated. Okay, it will initially start as a painless indurated swelling which is nothing but the abscess. It is a very slow progressive swelling that will eventually drain via the sinus tract, and the discharge that comes out is granulated. See, this is the painless swelling and this is the sinus tract. Now, how does it happen is most often it is associated with dental caries or tooth extraction, any invasive sort of thing if the bacteria enters from the oral mucosa to inside of the body, or any sort of maxillofacial trauma. So basically if a question comes, it will come that the patient has a painless indurated orofacial abscess or swelling which is very slow in progression, and there is sinus tract and there is granulated discharge, and there will be some history of trauma or tooth extraction or something. Now later on what can happen, the abscess can eventually form fibrosis, and it can also lead to tissue destruction. Now we talked about granules. So these granules are basically yellow colored, hard and non-emulsifiable. These are basically yellow granules which are hard and non-emulsifiable, and they are less than 5 millimeter in diameter. So these are basically known as my yellow sulfur granules. Okay, so now we'll study about what else can it cause. The classical thing which we discussed was orofacial abscess, right? Apart from that, with intrauterine devices, Actinomyces can also cause pelvic inflammatory diseases. It can also cause abdominal complications such as appendicitis. It can cause thoracic complications such as cavitary lesions as well as pleural effusion. It can also cause brain abscesses, and it can also it can also propagate to the nearby site if it is affecting the orofacial site. It can also enter inside the bone near it, so it can cause bony erosions. So this is about it. This is how the sulfur granule looks like. This is the filamentous bacteria coming out. Now coming on to its lab diagnosis, how do we do it? The main thing over here is the sulfur granule. So what is the basic site of collection? What is the sample collection which we will do is from the abscess or from wherever the site is there, be it PID, be it the abscess, be it abdominal, thoracic or anywhere. We'll basically take pus or that granulated discharge from over there. So basically after we have concentrated on sulfur granules, what we'll do is we'll crush these granules between two slides and make a smear out of it. It is not the usual thin smear which we do. Basically what we do is we take the sulfur granule, we take two slides and we crush this sulfur granule in between it, and then we make a smear, and under smear this is what we'll see. By modified gram staining, which is brown band modification, we basically see gram positive long filamentous bacteria which appears to us like fungi. If for the same smear we do a histopathological examination, we'll see under Gomori stain we'll see a sun ray appearance as we had discussed earlier. Now this is about actinomyces. Now how will we treat it is basically there are first in the initial 4 to 6 week of treatment we give either penicillin G or ampicillin, which is given intravenously. Penicillin is the drug of choice, and after 4 to 6 weeks, then for another 6 to 12 months we give oral penicillin V or amoxicillin. So firstly we'll give penicillin G for 4 to 6 weeks, which is IV, then we'll shift to oral penicillin V for another 6 to 12 months for the patient to get cured. If the patient is allergic to penicillin, which the patient might be, we can give the patient doxycycline, clindamycin or ceftriaxone. Okay, so this was all about actinomyces. Now next we'll be studying nocardia. So the pathogenic nocardia species is basically Nocardia asteroidis and Nocardia brasiliensis. This is basically an aerobe in contrast to actinomyces, which was an anaerobe, and this is weakly acid fast. Why weakly acid fast? Because we do not do the typical Zn staining over here. We do the cold Zn staining or the Kinyon method over here, and this is how it appears under acid fast. This is basically the bacteria which branches out at an acute angle. It is weakly acid fast. And unlike actinomyces, which was the normal commensal within the human body, nocardia is most commonly found in soil. Basically it is a saprophyte, and actinomyces was basically causing orofacial abscesses, whereas nocardia is an opportunistic infection which can cause pulmonary infection, most commonly seen as lobar pneumonia, which is characterized by subacute onset of productive and prurulent cough in immunocompromised patients, which can mimic tuberculosis, or it can also cause cutaneous infection. And pulmonary and cutaneous infection can further disseminate to CNS, causing cerebral abscesses. Okay, now how is this identified is we can basically grow nocardia under BHI, which is brain heart infusion, or SD agar, in which we can find colony which is adhered to the wall, which is creamy white, wrinkled and pigmented. Basically orange or pinkish color colony can be seen. Okay, now next is how do we treat nocardia. Basically we can treat it with cotrimoxazole, which is trimethoprim plus sulfamethoxazole, in case of normal manifestation, okay, be it cutaneous or pulmonary manifestation. If there is brain abscess, then we add imipenem along with cotrimoxazole. Okay, now this is the duration of treatment. If the disease is severe, we can continue the duration for 6 to 12 months. If there is lymphadenitis or skin abscesses, then the treatment is for 2 months. And if there is actinomycetoma, basically this is Madura foot disease, that can after it is cured for 6 to 12 months we can continue. And if there is keratitis, we can continue the treatment up to 2 months after cure. That means for these two, cure has taken place. For X amount we have given the drug, and after that also for 6 to 12 months we given actinomycetoma, and after that also for 2 months we given keratitis. Okay, now one thing is that let us sum up the entire thing all together. So basically we studied nocardia versus actinomyces. Both of these are under the group actinomycetes. They are basically gram positive true bacteria, but they resemble fungi. Actinomyces is anaerobe, nocardia is aerobe. Actinomyces is not acid fast, nocardia is weakly acid fast. Nocardia is found in soil, whereas actinomyces is a normal oral commensal. Actinomyces, typical case, it will come with orofacial abscess with sinus tract discharging granules. There will be yellow sulfur granules, which we have to, these are the main one to be taken care in the laboratory diagnosis. Over here they can be pulmonary or cutaneous infection or even cerebral abscess. Over here we take the specimen according to wherever the infestation is there, and we can grow it under BHI or SD agar, and we see colony which are creamy, wrinkled and which have orangish or pinkish pigment. For actinomyces, the treatment was penicillin, followed by penicillin intravenously for 4 to 6 weeks, followed by oral penicillin for 6 to 12 months. And if there is allergy, we can give doxycycline, clindamycin, and ceftriaxone. Whereas in nocardia, we can give cotrimoxazole, and in case of brain abscess, we add imipenem along with it. So thank you. I hope you all understood.